One of the first documented tattoos was from 3100 BC, and that's a long time ago considering that even now there's tattoo sleeves on mostly all of the hip cool dudes and dudettes even here in Toronto. I'm nervous because I'm gonna get my first tattoo. Jess is gonna get her first stick and poke tattoo. We're gonna see what all the fuss is about, learn about the history of tattoos, and also the science of how tattoos stay on our body. Your skin is the largest organ on your body. It accounts for 15% of your body fat, and if you ripped it off you and stretched it out, it would be 2 meters squared. Humans also shed their skin. You lose 1 million skin cells every single day, and 50% of the dust in your house is made up of dead skin cells. Ugh! So, why doesn't a tattoo just flake off? The trick is getting the pigment deeper into your skin. My blank canvas of a pale, pasty mayonnaise body is about to get its first piece of ink. I feel like I'm gonna puke. That's gonna be me in like a month when I get addicted to tats.
I'm about to get my first stick and poke tattoo. I hope it doesn't hurt too much.
Ready?
Yes.
Tattoos are widespread amongst all cultures, whether it's the indigenous peoples of North America before colonization, or even the Eurocentric American tattooing that we're used to now, which borrows a lot from the Japanese culture of tattooing known as Arizumi. Sailor Jerry and Ed Hardy are actually famous pioneering tattoo artists that owe a lot of their craft to Japanese culture. As well, Thomas Edison invented an electric pen. Essentially, it was a stencil, but its design is extremely similar to a tattooing machine. The electric pen was a dud, but in 1891, Samuel O'Reilly used Edison's concept to create the tattooing machine. Tattooing machines insert tiny needles loaded with dye into the skin at a frequency of 50 to 3,000 times per minute. Stick and pokes are much slower because they are a single needle by hand. The needles poke the ink past the epidermis into a deeper layer of skin called the dermis, which has nerves, glands, and blood vessels. Every time the needle penetrates the dermis, it causes a wound.
The thing about stickies is like you don't get a stick and poke hoping that it's perfect. Like it's supposed to be jank.
Yeah.
It was just like something we did when we were drunk and bored.
Yeah, there's definitely like a sort of like punk aesthetic, which I'm much more interested in. It's supposed to be more painful. I'm not really in that much pain.
Cause you're badass. It does hurt, it really does. I feel like people lie when they're like, oh yo, that tattoo didn't hurt at all, because I had a simple little one and it hurt a lot. It felt like a consistent cat scratch. Because I was getting tons of little wounds, this made my body start the inflammatory process. As well, I sent immune cells to my tattoo. Macrophages are cells that engulf cellular debris and foreign substances. So when I started to get my tattoo, my body sent macrophages to the site of the tattoo. Most of these ink particles are so big that the macrophages cannot eat them, so the ink just stays there in the dermis of your skin. With most of these macrophages unable to get rid of the ink, the dye just stays there in your skin and therefore it stays visible. Some of the ink just stays in the matrix of your dermis, whereas some of the other ink particles are actually engulfed by cells known as fibroblasts. Oh my god, that's so good. It's so straight. Thank you.
Jess, it looks so good.
Thanks. Went very quickly. It was very fun.
Dermal cells stay in the same place in your body with the ink inside them until they die. This is another reason why the ink from your tattoo stays on your body until you die. After just getting the tattoo, the outer layer of skin known as the epidermis will also have ink in it too. But this will shed off with all of your shedding skin and you will see the tattoo start to flake and peel. This is why it's important that you care for your tattoo to avoid fading. Tattoo care involves cleaning your tattoo often with non-scented soap, making sure you always use a fresh, clean towel when drying the tattoo, and tap the tattoo dry as to not disturb the wounds and therefore increase healing. You should also use unscented moisturizer or a tattoo goo to moisturize the tattoo for 2 weeks after to help it heal. Tattoos have a permanency that can be symbolically beautiful and is described by some people as moving art pieces. But tattoos can also be a symbol of humiliation, horror, and defiance, from the tattooing of slaves in ancient Rome, criminals in imperial China, to the tattooing of prisoners in concentration camps in World War II. Tattooing has actually come in and out of style based on traditions. There was a decline in tattooing in the past with the spread of Christianity across Europe, as Christianity deems marking the body as pagan. Tattoo artists have also experienced sexism through the ages. Most people were reluctant to have a female tattoo them until Jessie Knight became popular as a tattoo artist in Britain in the 1930s. And now tattooing is on the rise across the world and we're happy to be a part of it. The reason I got this tattoo is that I first looked at science as a means of comfort when learning about the law of conservation of energy in high school, and this wavelength is a reminder of that. The fact that energy cannot be created or destroyed but can only change form can explain every aspect of life. The sun's energy helped grow plants through photosynthesis, my tattoo artist ate a salad and converted the chemical energy of his food into the kinetic energy of his hands in order to create this tattoo, etc. This tattoo helps remind me of the complexity and simplicity of science as a way to keep myself grounded and fascinated until my energy runs out and I become food for some maggots. So I'm now officially a tattoo artist. You can follow me at Greg Brown Ink. Kidding, it's my first tattoo. Here we go. Good. Perfect. Shout out to Patrick at Chronic Ink for giving me this clean-lined tattoo.
And thanks to Jasmine Carr for making me a badass.
Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, and subscribe here to ASAP Thought for more videos like this every week.